Have you ever wondered why some mornings feel like doors are swinging wide open, while others leave you stuck battling the same old struggles? Morning prayer is not just a ritual. It is a secret weapon that unlocks unstoppable doors in your life. When you wake up and surrender your first thoughts to God, you are not just whispering words into the air. You are aligning your spirit with divine purpose. Think about it. The enemy loves to hijack your day before it even starts. He plants doubts, distractions, even that urge to hit snooze. But when you pray first thing, you shut those traps down. Psalm 5 verse 3 says David cried out in the morning and waited for God to answer. That is not coincidence. Mornings are sacred. They set the tone. Your first key is this. Morning prayer rewires your mind. Before the world screams its chaos, you're anchoring your thoughts in truth. Romans 12 verse 2 talks about renewing your mind to know God's will. That happens when you start your day declaring His promises. You are not begging God to show up. You are claiming what He already promised. Ever notice how solutions to problems pop up after you pray? That is not luck. That is God opening doors no man can shut. Revelation 3 verse 8. But here is the hidden truth. Prayer does not just open doors. It prepares you to walk through them. Too many people beg for breakthroughs but crumble when they come. Morning prayer builds your faith muscle. It is like training for a race. You do not win by wishing. You win by showing up daily. Consistency is your second key. One prayer might spark hope, but a lifestyle of morning prayer shifts mountains. Matthew 17 verse 20. Think of Daniel. He prayed 3 times a day, even when it could cost his life. Daniel 6 verse 10. That habit opened doors to favor, protection, even miracles. You are no different. The world will test you. Co-workers might drain you. Family drama might blindside you. But when you have already met God at dawn, you carry His strength into the storm. Here's a warning. Skipping morning prayer leaves you vulnerable. You are not just missing a moment with God. You are handing the enemy an opening. Ephesians 6 verse 12. Spiritual battles start in the unseen. That is why your third key is protection. Morning prayer is your shield. You are not just asking for blessings. You are putting on the armor of God. Ephesians 6 verse 11. Ever had a day where everything went wrong? Maybe you forgot to pray. That is not guilt talking. That is reality. Prayer covers you. It blocks attacks you cannot even see. Think of Jesus. He rose early to pray. Mark 1 verse 35. If the Son of God needed morning prayer, how much more do you? But here is the shocking part. Morning prayer does not just protect you. It positions you. God does not open doors for people who are not ready to move. Prayer aligns your heart with His plans. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. You start seeing opportunities others miss. That job offer, that reconciliation, that bold step you were too scared to take. Morning prayer gives you clarity to act. It is like God whispering, "Go now. I have got you." Your fourth key is boldness. Prayer fuels courage. Acts 4 verse 31. When the disciples prayed, they spoke with power. You will too. Ever felt stuck, afraid to make a move? Morning prayer breaks that chain. You are not praying to stay comfortable. You are praying to step into God's purpose. That leads to the final key. Morning prayer connects you to divine timing. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. God has a season for everything. Your job is not to force doors open. Your job is to stay ready. Prayer keeps you in step with His clock. Ever heard someone say, "It happened at the perfect time"? That is not chance. That is God. Morning prayer tunes your spirit to His rhythm. You stop chasing. You start trusting. And when you trust, doors fly open. Not because you are perfect. Not because you earned it. But because you showed up. You prayed. You believed. So here's the challenge. Stop treating morning prayer like an option. Make it your lifeline. Wake up tomorrow. Get on your knees. Speak to God. Watch how He moves. Your life will never be the same. You have tasted the power of morning prayer. But do you know it is a divine reset that rewires your entire day? Every sunrise is a fresh chance to step into God's plan, but only if you seize it. The moment you open your eyes, the world is already pulling you away. Notifications buzz. Worries creep in. That mental fog tries to settle. But when you choose prayer, you are not just talking to God. You are reclaiming your day from chaos. Psalm 143 verse 8 says to let the morning bring word of God's unfailing love. That is your anchor. When you pray, you are not just asking for help. You are inviting God to direct your steps. Proverbs 16 verse 9. Think about it. How many times have you stumbled through a day, feeling lost, only to realize you never invited God into it? Morning prayer is your first key to clarity. It cuts through the noise. It sharpens your focus. You start seeing what matters. That conversation you need to have. That decision you have been dodging. Prayer lights the path. John 8 verse 12. But here is the secret. Morning prayer does not just clear your mind. It shifts your heart. You are not just checking a spiritual box. You are surrendering your agenda. Too many people pray like they are placing an order at a drive-thru. God is not your waiter. He is your Father. When you pray in the morning, you are saying, "Your will, not mine." Matthew 26 verse 39. That surrender opens doors you cannot even imagine. Maybe it is a connection you never expected. Maybe it is peace in a storm you thought would crush you. God moves when you let go. Your second key is intimacy. Morning prayer builds a bond with God that nothing else can. Think of Moses. He spoke to God face to face like a friend. Exodus 33 verse 11. That kind of closeness does not happen by accident. It comes from showing up day after day in the quiet of the morning. You're not just praying for things. You are building a relationship, and that relationship unlocks favor. Psalm 30 verse 5 says his favor lasts a lifetime. When you seek God first, he pours out blessings you did not even ask for. Ever had a day where everything just fell into place? That is not random. That is God responding to your pursuit. But here is a warning. The enemy hates your morning prayer. He will do anything to stop it. That is why you feel that pull to scroll your phone or skip to your to-do list. Ephesians 6 verse 11 again. Your third key is warfare. Morning prayer is a battle cry. You are not just asking for peace. You are declaring victory. Jesus taught us to pray, "Deliver us from evil." Matthew 6 verse 13. When you pray that in the morning, you're drawing a line in the sand. The enemy cannot cross it. You are covered. Your family is covered. Your purpose is covered. But you have to show up. Consistency matters. Think of Hannah. She poured out her heart to God, and he answered with a son. 1 Samuel 1 verse 11. Her prayers open a door that changed history. Your prayers can too. The fourth key is expectation. Morning prayer trains you to expect God to move. Hebrews 11 verse 6 says without faith, it is impossible to please God. When you pray, you are not just hoping. You are believing. You are standing on his promises. That job you need. That healing you are desperate for. That dream you have buried. Morning prayer revives your faith. It reminds you that God is not done with you. Philippians 1 verse 6. You start your day expecting doors to open. And when you expect, you act. You make that call. You take that step. You trust that God is working. Romans 8 verse 28. Here's the final piece. Morning prayer is your connection to eternity. It is not just about today. It is about aligning with God's eternal plan. Psalm 90 verse 12. When you pray, you are stepping into something bigger than yourself. You are partnering with God to bring his kingdom to earth. Matthew 6 verse 10. Every door he opens is a step toward your destiny. So do not give up. Do not skip it. Wake up tomorrow and pray. Make it your habit. Make it your lifeline. Watch how God moves mountains you thought were immovable. So you have seen how morning prayer shifts your heart and sets your day. But do you realize it is a divine key that unlocks doors you never even knew existed? Every time you kneel at dawn, you are not just talking to God. You are stepping into a spiritual rhythm that changes everything. The world wants you to rush, to chase, to stress. But prayer slows you down just enough to hear God's whisper. Isaiah 30 verse 15 says, "In quietness and trust is your strength." That is why morning prayer is your first key to to supernatural peace. You are not just asking for calm. You are tapping into a peace that surpasses understanding. Philippians 4 verse 7. Ever had a day where chaos swirled around you, but you felt unshaken? That is the fruit of meeting God before the storm hits. Prayer anchors you. It reminds you who is in control. But here is the hidden truth. Morning prayer does not just calm you, it empowers you. You are not praying to stay still. You are praying to move mountains. Mark 11 verse 23. Your second key is authority. When you pray, you are not begging. You are declaring. Jesus gave you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions. Luke 10 verse 19. Morning prayer activates that power. You are not just asking for doors to open. You are speaking them into existence. Think of Elijah. His prayers shut the heavens and then opened them again. 1 Kings 17 verse 1. That same power lives in you when you pray. But here is a warning. The enemy will fight your prayer life harder than anything else. He knows it is your lifeline. 1 Peter 5 verse 8. That is why you feel that urge to skip it, to rush, to say, I will pray later. Later never comes. Your third key is discipline. Morning prayer is not about feelings. It is about commitment. Paul said he disciplined his body to keep it under control. 1 Corinthians 9 verse 27. Prayer is your spiritual workout. You do not wait to feel like it. You do it because it works. Think of the woman who touched Jesus' garment. Mark 5 verse 27. She pushed through the crowd to get to him. Your morning prayer is that push. It gets you to the source of power. And when you touch him, doors swing wide. Your fourth key is vision. Morning prayer opens your eyes to what God sees. Proverbs 29 verse 18 says, without vision, people perish. When you pray, God shows you things you cannot see on your own. That next step, that person you need to forgive, that dream he planted in you years ago. Prayer revives it. It is like God saying, look up, I am not done. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. Ever had a moment where you just knew what to do? That was not a hunch. That was God. Morning prayer tunes you to his voice. John 10 verse 27. But here is the final secret. Morning prayer is not just for you. It is for others. When you pray, you are interceding for your family, your friends, even strangers. 1 Timothy 2 verse 1. Your prayers open doors for them too. Think of Abraham. He prayed for Sodom and God listened. Genesis 18 verse 23. Your morning prayer could be the key that unlocks someone else's breakthrough. That is why you cannot quit. That is why you cannot skip it. Your prayers are bigger than you. They ripple into eternity. So here's the challenge. Make morning prayer your non-negotiable. Wake up, seek God, speak his promises. Watch how he opens doors you never imagined. Your destiny is waiting.